What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new video. Something different than I usually come up with, because I have some concerns with Delta Force and especially the future of Delta Force. Right now I'm absolutely loving the game. The videos are doing really good, the streams are doing really good. I feel like people are really enjoying the game. A lot of people that are waiting for the controller support are still excited for the game, which is really good to see. So for now it looks like the future of Delta Force is looking really good, but I have big concerns for the long run, and the reason why is skill-based matchmaking. Yes, this has been a hot topic around Delta Force. I usually do not like voicing my opinion because it's usually based off my opinion, but I've seen this topic basically everywhere, on Twitter, on X, on Reddit, in the comment section, wherever, where people are avoiding the game because of skill-based matchmaking. Now I have a couple of requests for you guys. Be sure to watch the entire video before you face your opinion. That's very important. And also, please, I never asked this, but please be sure to leave a like, comment, and maybe even share this video on Twitter X while tagging Delta Force. I hope this video will do good. I hope this will reach the people at Delta Force with the concerns. Because honestly, the main point with this video is that I'm just sharing my concerns with the game, and that I really hope the game is going to do well. That's honestly the main purpose of this video. I hope the video game will do well. Hope the video is going to do well as well. So we can only improve, and so far Delta Force has been doing a great job at listening to the community, so I hope they can continue with that. Also, I'll come up with the solutions for skill-based matchmaking as well at the end of this video. But I quickly wanted to explain how the skill-based matchmaking in Delta Force works, and yes, it's been confirmed that there is skill-based matchmaking in the game, so let's not even argue about that. They've literally confirmed it, the devs from Delta Force. So right now they explain it as it is a 2 bracket to basically where you have new players that are just hopping on the game, beginning players basically. They're in one bracket, and then you have a bracket with the rest. So what that exactly means, we don't know. If you're a new player when you are maybe, I don't know, level 10, or you're a new player when your KD is like 1, or you're a new player when your score per minute is around 200, just as an example. We don't know how it exactly works, and explain it as is a 2 bracket thing. So once you reach the point of apparently not being a beginner, you'll be put up with the rest, which that is already making for some problems. Imagine being a player that's pretty new to the game, you finally learn some things, and you end up in the 2nd bracket. So you're basically getting destroyed by all the sweats in the server. While you were having the feeling that you were actually doing really good in the game. This is the same problem with Call of Duty. Call of Duty skill-based matchmaking isn't really comparable with this. It's really skill-based matchmaking. Call of Duty is quite hardcore, I would say. So skill-based matchmaking is already more friendly in Delta Force, which it should be, for the reason that there's big servers with 32 versus 32. So honestly, skill-based matchmaking shouldn't have a place, but they cannot go with a strict skill-based matchmaking because there are so many servers with big players, and it's really hard to find all the same skill level at the same time queuing in. The game would need to be extremely popular for that. Well, it's doing good right now. It's not, doesn't have the popularity of Call of Duty, which is okay. We're not competing with Call of Duty. We're honestly competing with Battlefield and games like Hell Let Loose maybe, or just huge warfare games. But mainly it's honestly Battlefield, right? So, I want the game to last, and I feel like skill-based matchmaking is a short solution to bring in new players who are not so good in the game. They jump on the game, they do alright, and it's like, oh, this is kind of a fun game, we'll continue playing it. Which is great, you want new players to join in on the games. However, the problem is with the longer run players, which I think are very important and are often forgotten in a lot of games. In Call of Duty as well, they really focus on the newer players, bringing in new players in the game, but they forget about the players that have been playing the game for a loyal long amount of time. They put in hours into the game, you know, they're excited with the game. Some of them are content creators like myself. They put in a ton of hours, and they're also important people, and I feel like a lot of games are forgetting about those players that play the game for basically the most hours. And also promote the game in usually a positive way, because they know the game, they share their strats with the game, they talk about it a lot online because they know what they're talking about. So it's important to be kind to those type of players. Now the problem is the player count on Delta Force is not big enough to sustain a healthy skill-based matchmaking. I was playing on Sunday morning, I believe, and I was it was taking forever for me to jump in the game. Why? Because on a Monday morning, excuse me, it was Monday morning, I was playing around 9-10 a.m. Of course, that's a time when there's going to be a low player count in general. However, with skill-based matchmaking, it's going to be even lower. So imagine you have let's say, for example, there's a Monday morning, there's 100 people online, just as an example. With skill-based matchmaking, it's going to be like maybe 40 people are beginner players, 60 players are going to be experienced players, or they're in the second bracket. So it's going to divide those players into different regions. Now, for example, if you're playing in OCE, you're going to have this problem constantly. It's just a less populated region, and with OCE having less players, it's always going to take way longer for a server to fill up. You wouldn't have this problem with skill-based matchmaking when servers are just being created organically. It's just whenever somebody searches, they end up in a match. So you don't have that problem. You could solve this problem with a server browser, but at that moment it's super healthy for the game that you can just quickly find a game. Also, with the sweat level, I feel like if you're just over the beginning phase, so you end up in the second bracket, you have the exact same problem that you would have without skill-based matchmaking for the newer players, except you're ruining it for the players that are actually putting in just a little more time. You know, they play maybe 1-2 hours a day if they have the time, and they're trying to come back, and they're trying to chill on the game, and they can't because they get put up with all the sweats in the game. Well, if you have the entire player base put in one server, or the entire player base put in the same servers, you have a different, relatively, you have less sweats in each games, which I guess is the main problem with skill-based matchmaking. They don't want the new players to get absolutely destroyed by the sweats, which is a very understandable reason for skill-based matchmaking to be in the game. But it will always ruin a part of the players that are new or that are just reaching into the second bracket of skill-based matchmaking. So there's always somebody going to get killed, and somebody is going to get the kills. However, I feel like if you would put all the players in the same server search, you're gonna have the problem less. Of course, there's always gonna be super good players and super bad players, but you need that to balance out these type of casual games. And again, we're talking about casual games. We're not talking about ranked, even though there's ranked in this game. It doesn't really is ranked. It's more a point type of. Ranked is basically pointless, because if you didn't know, ranked and unranked people get put together in the same server, so that doesn't even really matter. Ranked is a little bit pointless. Also, this is completely my opinion. I don't feel like ranked is really something that people care too much about in casual games like Delta Force. And Delta Force is honestly just competing with Battlefield, and I think it's important to go into the mindset of those players. So with ranked being in the game, it doesn't really make a change with skill-based matchmaking, so it feels a little bit pointless. Also, there's not really ranked game mode, and also I feel like ranked would also divide the player base too much if it would have separate players. So you're gonna need to have smaller game modes for ranked if you want to have those players into the same server. Also, and this is definitely selfish reasons, but I want to put them out there because I feel like more content creators might struggle with this. So, for example, the other day I was trying to make a video, and I haven't made the video because I couldn't. It was too frustrating to make. I was actually just trying to make a video with some weird random loadouts, you know, for you guys to share. There's some really bad loadouts, and you can't mess around with it. So it really, I really miss the feeling of playing a sandbox type of game where I can just kind of, if I want to, I can sweat, I can play really good, try and go for high kill games. But if I want to play with some meme weapons, some weird random setups for a video, I might just have to make a second account and go into the easier servers to make a fun video for you guys. Also, video content in this game is going to be less less authentic. I feel like people have already experienced this with Call of Duty multiplayer content. They're like, hey, how are you getting insane kill streaks in these servers? This must be skill-based matchmaking. It's uninteresting content to watch because you're just playing in easier servers than others. Well, if you have everyone searching for the same type of servers, you don't have the problem. So those are completely selfish reasons. I'm fully aware of that. But for content, I mean, everyone watches content. The video is feeling authentic is, I think, very important for enjoyable content to watch. Also for streaming, if you want to stream for long hours, which you're basically constantly promoting the game for, I hope the developers understand that it's basically free promotion. I've seen a bunch of streamers stream the game for 7-8 hours straight. It's constant promotion for the game, especially if they have a fun experience, of course, which I think most of the streamers will slowly get into the section where it's going to be super sweaty, it's going to be hard to play for the long hours, which is simply just going to be frustrating. So that is a bit of a selfish reason for the content creator point of view, but I think many would maybe agree on this. Now, for a quick solution, this is literally a solution for Delta Force, what they could do to make the game a little bit more, you know, appealing for newer players. I think the campaign is going to be very important. I know they're working on that. That will be released. It's of course nice to hop maybe into a campaign. I could imagine for like the newer players, you hop in the campaign before you jump into crazy, chaotic multiplayer experience, which it can be quite intimidating when you jump on Delta Force and there's these explosives going on. There's a smoke there, there's a wall of smoke there, then you're spotted out of nowhere, then you can see players through the smoke. There's a lot of stuff going on in Delta Force, which can be quite intimidating in the beginning. So I think it's important to focus on maybe the campaign being released, but also what I had a lot of questions with is that people couldn't figure out they could change game modes, and one of the game modes you can play is attack and defense versus bots, which I actually quite enjoy. I use it before I stream nowadays to just play one game versus bots, get my aim warmed up, and then I jump in the actual games. So it would be maybe good to maybe promote the game modes a little bit more when you're switching game modes and make it really easy to find the different game modes, but also to widen the variety of the attack and defense, so you can specifically select what map you want to play, if you want to play vehicles, what game would you want to play on the map. And of course this will be against bots, but it's a great way to warm up and to get used to everything, and you can use your own class in your own time to try and figure out what it does, which I think is a great reason to help people get to understand and to learn the game before they jump into the crazy chaotic multiplayer without skill-based matchmaking, but just have a fun experience playing with their friends as well. Also, a little bit of an extra thing right there, when I was playing Call of Duty with my friends, and of course me being the, I guess, unemployed YouTuber that's super sweaty, gets into the unemployed servers. So the problem there is, if you're gonna play with friends that maybe play 1 or 2 hours every day, they're gonna end up with the sweats you're playing against. They don't want to play anymore with you, which especially in Battlefield and Delta Force, where I think it really should force you to, not force you, but it really should be a fun experience to play with friends. It's always been about that. Skill-based matchmaking does not help with that fun experience. So again, chat, let me know what you think. Leave a like, leave a comment what you think about the topic. Be sure to share the video if you feel like doing so. Add Delta Force in there. Hopefully they can watch the video. Hopefully they'll let us know what they think about it and the future changes. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.